Every so often, Hugo Boss seem to absolutely nail it with one of their eyewear designs. A perfect example with this aluminium pair from last year, which ultimately ended up being one of my favourite eyewear designs of the year. These might not be quite so special, but they're not far off, and in a lot of ways they're far more wearable at the same time. So in today's video I'm going to be showcasing one of the newest releases from Hugo Boss for men in 2021. In 2022, I'm going to be showing you all the little details and features of the frames that make them a little bit unique and give them the character that they have. And I'll be helping you to understand if these are the right glasses or the right sunglasses for you. So hi, I'm Robert, Style and Vision Consultant here at the Spectacle Factory, and it's my job to pair you with your perfect pair of glasses. And if you're someone who appreciates both retro and modern design, this new style from Hugo Boss perfectly brings the two together. This is called the 1382, and until I saw them up close, it wasn't a model that I was particularly excited for. I knew they were a little different than the styles that Hugo Boss normally create, and that's why I was anticipating their arrival, but I didn't expect them to be quite as impactful as they actually are. I think this is a really sleek and modern take on the traditional Clubmaster style that obviously Ray-Ban pioneered, but it's so much better than the typical Clubmaster in a lot of different ways. What typifies the Clubmaster style is the thicker acetate top rim contrasting against the thinner metal bottom rim. And usually, but not always, they'll have the metal bridge as well, and they'll generally have nose pads as opposed to an acetate bridge. This model fits relatively small on me. It's a little bit tight, but not uncomfortably so, and they are quite weighty glasses. I wouldn't recommend these as the most comfortable glasses that you can get. Having said that, I don't think anybody is buying Hugo Boss glasses for anything other than the looks. Hugo Boss have reinvented this Clubmaster style with a few nice little details. One thing I particularly like are the metal inlays of the acetate arms, which are in a semi-transparent colour, so you just see a little bit of that metal work. It's a nice little attention to detail. They also feature a double-barreled spring joint, which is a lot more stable and sturdy than a typical spring joint. Obviously glasses are better without the springs, and it's interesting that the sunglasses don't feature them, but in the optical version they do. I guess with the optical glasses that means the fit is going to be a little bit more flexible. But what I like about this style in particular is how it's a real combination of bold and subtle. They're not too dominant on my face, but at the same time they certainly make an impact, and they're a big style statement. And it's kind of hard to get that balance right. You tend to find glasses that are very over the top and impactful, or glasses that are very minimalistic and subtle. And this is a really good blend of the two. I particularly love them in the vintage tortoiseshell colour with the gold metalwork. This is a frame that I really appreciate. I think it's really cool. It's probably a bit harder to wear than the last colour that I just showed, which is obviously a lot more classic in that dark tortoiseshell and the silver metalwork. It's probably a touch more casual as well. I guess that's a factor. If you wanted something to match more to a suit, especially a darker suit, then this coloration is going to be more appropriate. But for more casual attire or a brighter coloured suit, maybe a blue suit like I'm wearing, the vintage style orangey tortoiseshell with the gold is the way to go in my opinion. Now, you may or may not know this, but Hugo Boss recently relaunched their logo. The new logo features much softer lettering, much more rounded lettering, and I guess that's an attempt by Hugo Boss to go for a more youthful audience perhaps. Another lovely attention to detail is the filigree detail along the metalwork on the bottom rim. That is a really nice touch, and that metalwork actually continues around the inside of the lens rim. So not only do we have a full metal core to the temple, but we also have a full metal core to the lens rim. And that's going to make the glasses a lot more sturdy than if they were purely acetate. So the build quality is good. You can tell that they're a very sturdy and stable pair of glasses, and aesthetically they're a new kind of look for Hugo Boss, and a style that really came out of left field because I don't see any other designers coming up with a new version of a Clubmaster. It's very, although it's not original because obviously it's been done before, in 2022 it is original. Now, onto the sunglasses. So clearly with these sunglass variants, the lens size is a bit bigger. Of course you'd want that because you need the protection from the sun, and the bigger lens is going to provide more protection. It's also a little bit squarer as well. The tint in them is a fairly standard brown. It's okay. I mean, I do like brown lenses. It's probably my favourite sunglass lens colour to get, but there's nothing particularly special about this lens tint. It's okay. And same is true with the colouring of the frames. It's very understated and low-key. As I mentioned, the sunglasses feature a traditional 5-barreled hinge, which I always prefer to a spring. Yes, it's not as flexible, but long-term they're going to last better as long as you treat them well. And again, I would favour the vintage Havana Havana is another term for tortoiseshell. The vintage Havana or tortoiseshell in this slightly amberish colour with the gold rim, but particularly in the sunglasses because you get this really cool blue lens that is very relaxing and calming and lovely to look through. You might even notice that on top of that blue tint, we have an amber flash coating. So that is a slightly reflective treatment that just reflects a little bit of gold, which ties in, of course, with the metalwork on the frame. So little touches like that, I really appreciate, and that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to showcase these glasses and sunglasses for you today. I always appreciate cool eyewear design. You don't often see it from brands like Boss, who are often shooting for a more mainstream audience. They're going for conventional styles without much fuss, and there is something to be said for that, but occasionally they just add a little bit of flair, and that's when I get a bit more excited. So I hope you've enjoyed this showcase of some of the latest Hugo Boss models. Let me know what you think of them in the comment section below, and if you've got any questions about them, fire away. But if you enjoyed the video, give us a like, subscribe to the channel because it really helps us grow, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks guys, bye bye.